This precious girl was being stalked for nearly an hour in broad daylight at 11 a.m. in the morning, and she didn't know it, but her body did.
I'm going to make the story as quick as I possibly can, but I want to share something scary that happened to me today for other people that live in my area. I live in the Arlington, Northern Virginia area, and I was on a walk with my dog this morning, and I was approached by a man who immediately complimented my dog, and I did not stop my trajectory. I just said thank you and kept going. About an hour later, we sit down to have breakfast on a patio, and about 5 to 10 minutes after I sit down, the man who complimented my dog sits diagonally from me, and before he even sits down, he says, "Hello." I immediately recognized him, and my body said, "You're in danger." This is crazy, I know. It's about 11 a.m. at this point. We left my house around 9:30-ish. From the time the man told me my dog was cute on my walk, it had at least been an hour. So when I sat down for breakfast. So I was a little concerned. I was like, maybe it was just a coincidence. Despite the fact that this man decided to sit exactly diagonally from me and begin to take photos and videos of me. This is the man. I wasn't certain he was taking photos and videos of me at the moment, because when you are in those moments, you're like, no, this isn't happening. This isn't what I think it is. It was exactly what I think it was. So my discernment kind of starts talking, and my breakfast is delivered, and I hear this man say to his waiter that he's not ordering any food. I get more freaked out the longer I wait there, because he is sitting there with sunglasses and a hat on, staring at me, not doing anything other than taking photos and videos of me, and it was so menacing, and I think his whole thing was to scare me. At this point, I'm not certain what to do, because I did come to the realization, I was like, okay, I saw this man an hour ago. This isn't a coincidence. I was followed here. The waitress comes back, and before this man had sat down, I had complimented her perfume, because I loved it, and we had a quick conversation before this man ever got here. So I was like, okay, I had a pen in my bag. I quickly scribbled on a napkin. I said, "This man followed me here. Can I leave out of your back door?" So she comes back out to the patio, and I didn't want to alarm him that I was leaving, because I didn't want him to know where I lived or follow me if this was what was going on. I still wasn't fully convinced, but there was that voice in the back of my head that was like, lock in, you have to do something. So I gave her this note, and with a smile on my face, and I'm like, hey, could you write down that perfume we were talking about earlier? And she immediately realizes there's already writing on the napkin, realizes it, or reads it with a smile on her face, says absolutely, turns her back to this man, because again, I'm here, she's here, he's here. She says yes, and I will tell my manager. She comes out to me and tells me, without me even mentioning this to her, she said, "Just so you know, he has been taking photos and videos of you." So I was right. Good to know that I wasn't just being crazy. Trust your gut every time, because for a second I was second guessing myself. I was like, you're being dramatic, like you're full of yourself. He's not taking photos and videos of you. He absolutely was, and was absolutely trying to scare me. And so I pay the tab. The waitress kind of stands there, and the manager walks out, and I immediately, pretending like I'm interviewing or something, I say, "Hey, so excited, thanks for talking with me," or something like that. "So excited to chat with you," something like that. He takes me inside. These nice guys let my dog go through their kitchen out the back door so I can leave safely. If it wasn't for that amazing waitress, that woman who locked in immediately and helped me get out of there, I don't know what would have happened. I'm still kind of shaken up, because I was tailed for at least 45 minutes to an hour today without my knowledge before 11 in the morning. It was really scary. My instinct is that he was profiling me to traffic me. He was wearing a nice shirt, a nice watch. He was so unforgettable that I forgot about him and could almost not pinpoint where I had seen him before. I don't even want to say exactly where this was, because now I don't want people to know where I live or what my apartment building is, but thank goodness I didn't go back to my apartment, and I decided to go have a nice breakfast outside instead of cooking this morning, because I would have led him right to my front door. Trust your intuition. I'm thanking God for discernment today, because it was spiritual. It was entirely spiritual, the fact that my body immediately knew. And funny enough, before I even realized I was being tailed, I was about a block away from the restaurant I was going to. But there was a little thing in my brain that was like, if you had to run right now, you would need to figure out how to take your ankle weights off. Just randomly my brain popped up, which I don't know. I don't know. Do with that what you will.
She called it spiritual, and she's right. And here's the science that proves what her body already knew. Because that voice that she heard, the one that said lock in, the one that randomly started calculating how fast she could rip off her ankle weights if she had to run, that's not coincidence. That's not being overdramatic. That is not being full of yourself. That is millions of years of women surviving. Women's brains are structurally different when it comes to reading other people. Not better or worse, just differently in exactly the ways that kept us alive. So research out of the University of Cambridge found that women have a larger mirror neuron system, meaning we literally absorb and mirror what's happening in the people around us at a neurological level. We don't decide to do it, it just happens. And estrogen, the hormone they treat like a punchline, it plays a direct role in social bonding and threat detection. It makes women more attuned to microexpressions, body language, and the tone of voice. Not because we're emotional, because we were built to survive in environments where missing a cue could get us unalived. A 2025 peer-reviewed paper published in Frontiers in Sociology put a formal name on it: attunement. The ability to somatically, emotionally, and cognitively register the internal state of another person. The paper found that this capacity evolved specifically in women under pressure of caregiving and during threat detection. Translation: we evolved to spot predators. Mothers of infants, moms, they operate at near 100% read rate on nonverbal communication, and that's because they have to. Women that have had babies have to be able to read the room. A baby cannot tell you it's pain. It cannot tell you it's terrified. You have to read it. And the woman who got that wrong throughout history, their children didn't survive. So that gene also got passed on to women's DNA, right? So every woman who ever felt something was wrong in a room she'd never been in before, she's carrying hundreds of generations of women who trusted that feeling and lived.